PKN 335. So, Kyle, you were just saying my guy, I forget his name, like Alexei Nagavanov or something?
Alexei, Russian name.
I think it's Navalny or Navalny. Right?
From Woody's death pool. Woody selected him, of course, because Vladimir Putin is, he kills anyone who opposes him, it would seem.
Putin does not care for him, I've heard.
No. He's been arrested by the Russian.
What do they expect to happen, though? Because he's been arrested like dozens of times. It seems like if they wanted to ice him, they could have done that already. But maybe this is the time that he bit off more than he could chew.
See, I maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I think a lot of people are like, ooh, Woody's pick has been arrested. He's under Putin's control. This is trouble. I don't share that. I feel like if they wanted to kill him, he'd have an accident while he was roaming free. Now that he is under Russian control, I feel like they just want to jail him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wouldn't want it to look silly or like suspicious or anything. Those Russians,
or they'll.
I don't know, man. Like, I could see him having like a who was the child molester that had the dirt on all the celebrities and politicians, and then they killed him in prison. What was his name?
Epstein.
Yeah, that guy. I feel like they might Epstein him, or maybe while he's in custody, they give him some sort of a polonium injection, as they're apt to do over there.
Or maybe a couple of, like your first suggestion was maybe a couple of Putin nationalists in the prison were so angry at him speaking out against Putin that they just had to stab him 37 times.
And then suddenly those guys got,
I was going to do snow
nicer
voice.
cells.
That doesn't make sense. I've been in prison all over the place. Yeah.
And then for the rest of their term, they have nice drywall cells and like Netflix and cool shit. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I could be wrong.
I'll be shocked if the under 50 ends up being the fastest death pool ever.
They did fuck with him a little bit. I guess when he turned himself in, he kind of turned himself in. He didn't do that, but as they were taking him in, he's like, look, I'll go in. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to struggle, but I want to bring my attorney with me. And they're like, no. And he's like, no. It's the Russian Constitution. You have to do this. I understand I'm under arrest, but I am allowed to have an attorney. And they're like, no. And then that's it. He didn't get his attorney. So so maybe they won't follow the rules. I'm not sure.
I mean, their rules.
Pretty brave attorney too. Be like, hey, do you want to represent this guy? I'd be like, are you fucking high? I'm going to go represent some fucking rapist or something. Not that guy.
They should have said yet. I fucked it up. I was like, how do I say just one syllable with a Russian accent? That would have been the way. Yes. So anyway, so that's some progress. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Woody might be coming into a hefty sum of $5 here pretty soon. $10 even.
Kyle, you're about to come into a hefty sum of $5 because the Blues won the first game against Colorado before we started the bet, and then game 2, the Blues lost.
I know. I was watching in pretend land. Yes, where I watched the games.
Yes, and I'm sure you checked the box score. You're like, oh, it's my favorite players.
That guy.
Yeah. Kyle knows a bit about hockey. Like Kyle knows, like, for example, like what's like an average amount of shots in a game for one team to have? Like
shots, like attempts?
Yeah, like a shot on net that makes it to the goal.
I don't know, man. Like 20?
I guess. I'm going to guess current NHL 36 per side.
I was going to say like high 20s. Like that was just my guess. I was going to say like 27, 28. Kyle was pretty close. I was hoping he would miss it by a lot, but in retrospect, it's not that hard of a question. You kind of 60 minutes long.
You should have just asked me how many players are on the ice for each team, because I would have struggled with something like that. Is it 5, 6? I don't know.
I mean, either one could be right. 5 on the ice, and then the goalie is the 6th.
31.5.
Damn. Shots are going up. It's the higher scoring era. I switched into my glasses for the first time. And the way I've always treated glasses is as an absolute last resort. And for decades now, literally decades, I've never fucked up my resubscription plan for my contacts to where I had to rely on the glasses. And it was last night, like I was way overdue on my contacts and I was trying to fall asleep. And you guys don't wear contacts, but like there's like this sticky eye feeling where you're like, I feel like my eyelid is sticking to my eye. My contact is so old and dry. So I got up, washed my hands, took them out, and put my glasses on. And putting your glasses on after not having to use them for years, like everything's so far away. I'm not used to this. Like, because if you wear glasses constantly, your brain tunes out this blurry area that's surrounding it. But I'm not used to that. And so I'm just kind of not feeling good all day because I can see so much blurry.
Oh, no.
It's like looking at life through a paper towel roll. Is that how you describe
basically,
it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like I can see good through here, but like my periphery, it's fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
And so what I think I'm going to do is, in order to avoid this in the future, I'm going to buy some really cheap, ugly glasses that are just whatever the biggest lens I can get in front of my eye to make it so that there is no nonsense sector. And I'm going to look silly, but I'm going to keep these also. So when I need to go in public.
Yeah. Like a Geordie LaForge style visor.
Yeah. Isn't that what it is? Well, I just realized like people wear glasses their whole life and they don't mind. Like, I'm sure I wouldn't mind if I had some bigger lenses. Wouldn't be too bad.
Or if you just wore those like consistently.
I think my lenses are bigger than yours.
I think
they are.
Or I don't know, my head.
Those lenses are this big.
Did you get the biggest frames they had at the store?
No, I just tried a bunch on until I thought they looked right on me.
Did you, from left to right, when you were trying them on, did you have to go pretty far to the right? I did. I remember I put some on and I just looked like my. It was like I was obese right here. Like it was like pushing in.
Sunking in.
Yeah.
I feel like,
and she's like, okay, yeah, not that one though. Let's try the 1450s. No, let's put 15. Okay, we have 1700 here.
Which vet did you go to for your lenses, Woody?
I feel like
you gotta go to one that accommodates horses.
Big dicked by Taylor. Like, did you wear the Magnum size glasses? Like, no, I just have an ordinary size head. I mean, I have never had any complaints before.
Are yours made out of spring steel?
I should like to do like a stolen valor. Like, have you ever seen that video where it's like some guy in like Ukraine who's 8'7". He's like, the world isn't made for me. He's like crammed in, and I just like have mild inconveniences about hats. It shows me flying comfortably home. That guy's life is so sad. Look up anybody out there. Look up the tallest man alive, and like he got hit. First of all, his feet are so far from everything else that like he didn't even know when he got frostbite. He just didn't know. I think he was either Ukrainian or Russian. So it was like either whoever the leader of Ukraine is, or maybe even like Putin, that was like, make him some custom shoes. And they made some custom shoes the size of like a normal person's torso. It's like they sewed 10 shoes together. How big this is. And it shows him like getting around because he's a celebrity, but he's a Russian celebrity for being huge. And so it's like he still lives in a shitty little house in the snow. He has to, and it's like, what kind of work is he doing? Do they have him as like, are they taking him to a training center and taking his blood and seeing what they can do to make monster Russians? It's like, no, he reaches the highest up boxes at the post office.
Oh, I literally was thinking of that job at Home Depot. I was like, I've got a job for him. I'll wait for my chance, but I've got it.
and even then, you have to use him sparingly. Because you'd be like, Igor. His name might actually be Igor. Like, Igor, can you reach up and grab that? And he's like, my back. It's like at 8 foot 8.5 tall and 485 pounds. He's the world's largest man. It's like, it sounds like made up numbers. Like if you asked a 6-year-old, how big do you want to be when you grow up? Like that's the kind of answer.
Yeah.
Like when you ask a kid, like, how old do you think I am? And they're like, 10? Like 10 years, or either 10 or like fucking 55. They don't have no conception of age.
Yeah, it would suck to be that tall.
Nothing's
I think we've done this before, but would you rather be 4 feet tall or 7 feet tall?
There's only one person on Earth who has experienced both. There was a guy who was born a dwarf, and then he had some sort of
pituitary cancer or something
problem, a tumor pressing on it, and so he had not enough growth hormone. And he was like 4'7" when he was like 12, and by the time he was 29, he was like well over 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I'd rather be 7 feet for sure. Like, nobody's gonna bagel boss you if you're 7 feet tall. there's plenty of women who would like fetishize someone who's 7 feet tall, but there's got to be so few women that fetishize dudes that are 4 feet tall, like so few.
Yeah, it's like even like 3'8" women, they're not into 4 foot tall guys.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, they like getting tossed around.
It's a tough dice roll.
And the thing is, there's plenty of 6 foot tall guys who want themselves a little 3'8" tall woman. They're
There's
like,
a
oh,
chick
the
on
things I can do.
Chatterbait who she's like, I'm 4'9". I'm the shortest girl you'll find on this site. And I'm like, that's okay.
I'm okay with 4'9".
Does she prove it?
No, well, she almost always does threesome stuff. So she's comparatively short.
2 guys or a girl and a guy?
Girl and a guy.
Just 2 very tall friends.
Well, that's no fun.
It's no fun.
I'm kidding.
I actually thought you were going to go the other way on that, but
I was hoping she would have some guy friends.
I want them to like pick her up and like her to be like just dangling in the air as they like a spit roaster because she's so tiny.
I saw her and I was like, all right, so we've got this one chick who has a claim to fame. She's pretty, like she's well proportioned, but she's only 4 foot something tall. All right, cool. And then there's a guy, because you have to have a guy in the mix up. And I'm like, who is this other just ordinary attractive chick? Like she's not a circus freak at all. They couldn't find someone with 900 piercings, or
bearded woman.
Yeah, bearded woman. Like I don't really know what she's bringing to the party here.
So, but this 4'9" woman, she didn't have like dwarven proportions. I know it's not dwarven because that's like the way that it's said in Lord of the Rings.
I like that though. Stick with that.
Proportion. She looks like a normal small woman.
She doesn't have the sausage fingers.
Yeah, she didn't look like she was a tall dwarf.
No, she's
You know what I'm talking about.
Can we find? Hey, I'm gonna find this bitch.
I'm looking for her right now.
My Belle Delphine subscription just expired. Shortest.
Oh no.
Girl on OnlyFans. All about petite. My favorite teen blonde. I'm 18 and I love doing free dick ratings for my subs. Okay.
Oh.
And there's this chick called Tiny Texie.
Free dick ratings for your subs. Then it's not free, is it?
I found her. In this case, the other woman looks like a full-sized woman, but that is.
Oh,
her.
wow. She is super tiny.
See, that woman on the right has to be a large woman too.
Yeah. I kind of feel like they juxtaposed her against it.
Yeah, there's some forced perspective there because, like, that chick's tit is bigger than little girl's head by a long shot. People say that, her tits are bigger than her head. No, her tits are bigger than her head by a long shot.
They're using the same thing, bringing up Lord of the Rings twice in 1 minute, but this is how they made the hobbits look small. Like that big tit lady, she's absolutely standing 3 feet closer to the camera. She's standing closer. Do you think?
Yeah, she's close enough to be as big as the man.
Her shoulders are not broader than that dude's.
Although she is a little thick around the middle, if you notice. She's got a little bit of a.
They pulled out all the stops to find a.
I've been focusing on the tit area.
I was just looking right below the tit area, and because I think she's trying to pull a second, even tinier girl out of her vagina.
I for some reason I find look, I'm sex toy positive, but the tails, the I think it's a Lush, right? It's a Lush.
Yeah, that's the Lush.
It's not hot to me.
No.
Lush. Yeah.
I don't think it's meant for you.
Wait, that's what it's called? The tail butt plug?
No, it's not a tail butt plug. It's when there's that little pink dangly thing coming out of the vagina, and it's a remote control vibrator. It's like an egg that goes in, and the tail also vibrates. It's called a Lush.
To Taylor's credit, I've seen it in the butt too. But it's like an try not to say eye drop, like a water
teardrop.
Teardrop. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. It's a teardrop shaped thing, but the teardrop is a little extended, and there's a tail. And it goes in a girl's pussy and it vibrates. And I guess it's popular on Chatterbait because you can donate to make it vibrate. And that just becomes a revenue source. I guess a lot of guys get off on
controlling it. Yeah. Because not only it's not like, I'm going to turn it on. You're like, I'm going to make it do this wave pattern. And its highest intensity is crazy high. It comes with an app. It's called the Love Sense app. Mm-hmm. And because that's the company that makes them. And you have this complete control with this little wave that you can draw, or there are pre-programmed patterns too that super perverts have created. Of course, I haven't created, or you can just play Spotify on your phone and it'll vibrate to the songs. So it's pretty cool sex toy. They also do make butt plugs. Yeah. Oh, so hot.
Oh, no chick can make it past 8 seconds into that song.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels almost like sloppy, or maybe I get like afterbirth thoughts or like yuck stuff. It's just not hot to me. I don't know. My mind doesn't go to the right place with the Lush.
It looks a little bit maybe like a tampon string.
Maybe that's it.
You should make it festive. Put like a jewel on there.
Well, you got the tail is part of the fun because it vibrates as well. So like if she's wearing it with panties, the tail can kind of like flip up, and it's providing some clitoral vibrations. Yeah, good times. I'm a fan of the toy myself. I have the Lush and both butt plugs. It's like $190 kit or something like that. Can't find my Lush though. I think someone stole it.
Do you think you could like?
They smuggled it out of there.
I think someone stole it.
All right, I'll clean it up.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I just when I'm gonna go. I'm a big fan.
Like one in the asshole and one in the pussy, and have them harmonize.
You could either have them harmonize or work, independently. Yes,
two entirely separate, disjointed songs.
And
I was trying to find 2 more holes for a barbershop quartet. I'm like, where can we put the other ones?
Not the ear, not the ear.
Yeah. And it's the Simpsons one where it's Homer, Apu, Wiggum, and getting vibrated out to that.
And it has like infinite distance. It has infinite range through like your phone signal. So like if your partner also has the app on their phone, then your phone talks to their phone, which then controls the thing. So you have access around the globe to perfectly control the thing. It's really fun.
Very nice.
It's nice.
I have never used one of those. Maybe I'll buy one.
It's good. It's real fun. Real fun. Yeah, the death pool's coming up. I'm hoping that your man doesn't die though. But
of course, we both are. We'll lose.
Yeah, but
it's hard to hope he does.
Also, yeah, I kind of hope he lives for like decency and world peace reasons, right? But the McGregor-Poirier fight is this weekend, and I was wondering what your thoughts on the outcome of that potentially being are.
He hasn't fought in forever, it seems like. As someone who doesn't pay attention.
This is Conor?
Yeah.
Conor's last fight was against Khabib, right? No, it was against Cowboy. It was against Cowboy, yeah. And it was about a year and some change ago. It's my understanding Conor wanted to fight more often. But I think the UFC only likes to use him when they can make more money. And since there was no crowd, it was only television. It's hard to pay Conor what he commands when you're just doing pay-per-view and you don't have the gate. So Conor's been a little frustrated, but now he has a thing. Conor hasn't had a good win in a long time. He had a win against what I call the ghost of Cowboy. You know, Cowboy's on the decline pretty hard. He's 36 or 37 years old now.
It was a convincing win. He beat him like he should have beaten the ghost of Cowboy Cerrone.
Sure. So it's hard to knock it. It is possible not to give it the credit it might have gotten 5 years ago. And then prior to that, you just have like, he had a loss against Khabib, but everyone loses to Khabib, and he didn't look terrible in it, right? Like he won a round. No, I don't think anyone else is. No. One other person may have won a round against Khabib in his whole career. Unless
Gaethje won a round, Conor's the only one.
I want to say Gaethje did, and it's controversial. A lot of people felt like it shouldn't have been scored that way, but anyway. There's not a lot of money to be made in betting against Conor. Yet here I am thinking that because he hasn't really shown me much since 2017, 16, that, why would he do well against a current fighter like Poirier?
And that's half a decade ago now. Like,
he's already beaten him once.
I could be wrong.
Years, right?
Well, my money's on Conor. I think he's already beaten Poirier once. I think Conor has improved as much as Poirier has in the meantime. And I don't see any reason why he wouldn't beat him a second time. I think Conor is going to win. I think it'll be a fun fight, regardless. It's a decent little card.
I was right. His last win was 2016. This is his good win. That's when he beat Eddie Alvarez. Then he lost to lost to Khabib, and he beat Cowboy, and that was January of 2020. So just over a year, a few days more than a year.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of the biggest in the world again.
Biggest what?
Because
one of the biggest cards in the world?
Purchases in PayPal, or not PayPal, pay-per-view.
It'll be big. I don't know if it's going to break any records. It seems like things always break records because like there's more fandom.
People, I guess.
Yeah, there's more people to buy and more fandom. You know, like I don't remember who was talking about this a while back. They were talking about how you know, all of those old boxing fights, whenever they're like, oh, this was the biggest fight of all time. It's like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. There's just more people now. There's more people now. Like I get it. The Ali versus Frazier was big, but there's just a lot more people now. There's a lot more human beings. Forget and obviously, you know, television works around the fucking globe. Pay-per-view works everywhere that I know of. I saw Dana White really almost goading people to try to pirate the fight. Yeah.
Why?
He's like, I look forward to you calling me with your tears, or something like that. Quote is 90% right.
Yeah.
I want to say in the last COVID release, they made it harder to illegally stream, and when Destiny said it, it made a certain amount of sense to me. Like, that business model is very important. Streaming during this pandemic has become a bigger thing, and they put in some protection for the content creators. Okay. But I think the UFC is very excited about people fucking with them now. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and in terms of big fight, there's no titles on the line, right? I feel like when Conor was smashing it in pay-per-view, he of course was the headliner, the A side of all the fights. Like, he's the guy, taking nothing away from him. But it was usually an event you wanted to buy, you know, like before his fight is another great fight, another title fight. But underneath that third, there's like 5 big cards or 5 big fights. Of the 5 big fights, all 5 would be interesting. Yeah. Now, like, Kyle, are you excited about Matt Favola versus Otman Aziatar?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah. How about this? There's a women's strawweight fight, Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Ribes. I read this stuff every day. I don't know some of these names.
I know Rebus, but but yeah, not excited about those fights. I feel like the second fight should have been like for the heavyweight title, and you know, like getting that taken care of, and like the third, like Israel Adesanya should be on this card. Like one of the main people should be on this card. Like Max Holloway instead of last week should be this week fighting under Conor, or something like that. You know,
I love that idea.
Maybe they're hoping that Conor can pull in enough money and not have to burn other fights.
I don't understand how it works exactly. But I guess Conor said he doesn't want anyone else who gets pay-per-view points on the card. He feels like everyone's buying it for Conor, therefore Conor should get the lion's share of the money. Now, I'm not trying to take away his money, but as a customer, I'm like, oh, okay, but Conor McGregor cards were Super Bowls. Now this is just a card with literally no title fights and a bunch of fights that I'm not excited about. I don't think it's going to break records.
Yeah, I don't either. And they haven't really promoted it very well. I don't think. I saw them on ESPN, but that's the only place I've seen or heard about this outside of, like, you know, I'm on Reddit, obviously, on the MMA stuff, and I've got MMA like YouTube videos recommended to me all the time. I get it there, but that's because everybody who's getting that was already going to buy the thing. You're already like a sports fan, or you're watching ESPN an hour a day, or you're whatever. But like, I don't see it on. I didn't get it anywhere else. And it wasn't like pushed to me anywhere else, and like pre-roll ads or radio or any of the other places. Like, to compare it to the Democratic runoff, I was getting that everywhere. Like, they spent $1 billion or something on that on advertising that thing, and they don't call it advertising. What do they call it? What do they call it when they pump all
campaigning?
Campaigning, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was outrageous, but I'm not getting this from anywhere. I don't think it's going to be a big card. Not a record-breaking card. I think it'll do really well, better than the last.
So if Conor gets beat up pretty good and loses, and the card doesn't do as well as Dana White is hoping, is that like the beginning of the end for Conor? As far as being a big draw?
I think a lot of people would say
all of Ireland, right? Like, that's a huge thing. Like, having everyone in Ireland buy it every time.
I think a lot of people would say yes. And to me, the question is whether or not Conor wants to work for less, right? Because so it's not crazy for like a champion to lose his belt and keep fighting and make good money. Instead of $1 million a fight, they're making $500,000 or or a third of $1 million a fight. But I mean, I would fight for a third of $1 million probably. Like, you know, like this is what they do. Conor, I think we'll see if he wants to do this for regular people money.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I think this is kind of a must win for Conor. And because I don't think that he fights again if he loses this.
I can see where, that sounds rightish to me.
However, if he wins, I think his like trajectory is immediately just peaked out. I think that like
title shot.
What happens after title shot, and then like the reign begins anew. You know, like it's he's right back to where he was 5 years ago because there's no more Khabib. I love his Ariel Helwani interview when he's calling Khabib a coward for like running away from the sport and all this stuff, and like every now and then he'll pepper in, I know there's family issues and stuff, and best of luck with that. Conor was just a coward.
I don't feel like you laid it out. So you have to know, he's like, look, this guy retired when there are challengers still out there. This is a coward who doesn't want to face me. And it's like, Conor, didn't you fucking just retire for the 5th time? How many times? I don't know how many times Conor's retired on social media. Oh, 2 real retirements. It has to be like 5 times where he's gone on Twitter and said that he's retired. It's like belt defenses, 0. I'll do Greg, you said 0. He has never defended his belt ever, and all the titles he's won, which is like 3 years. He's never defended a title, and he's calling Khabib a coward. And it's like not only has and the people he's listed out there that Khabib is afraid of, Conor McGregor, Poirier, Gaethje,
Diaz.
These are all people he's already beaten, right?
Yeah.
Ferguson he hasn't fought, but that's because Ferguson lost his fight and didn't get a shot. But he's like, he's afraid to face me. He's already faced and beaten you. He's already faced and beaten Gaethje. He's already faced and beaten Poirier. He's already all these people you think he's afraid of.
No one beats me 2 times.
That's true, actually. But anyway, it was just a masterful troll that Conor laid out there. And it's like, all right, I tip my hat. I see what you're doing.
I wish he had compared it to if Matt Serra had retired after beating GSP. Like that would have been a fun troll. Yeah, because it's so wrong. It'd be so wrong to say that. Like, well, that is not at all what happened here, Conor. Oh, it is. It'd be like if Matt Serra took the belt from GSP and ran like a little schoolgirl back to wherever the fuck.
It's funny.
Yeah, that would have been a good line because it's so wrong. It's the sort of thing that might have actually made. I love when he made Khabib mad. Like it almost worked. It would have been such a great storyline if it had worked. If he made Khabib super mad and Khabib came out and ran at Conor and Conor KO'd him like he did Jose.
I'm trying to remember how Conor was retelling the story of the fight, and he was like, so our fight finished, and then he was so scared he immediately jumped out of the cage and ran away.
No, he spit on you because he's an asshole, and then he jumped over the cage to attack your team.
That's right. And then after beating you, Conor, he decided a 1v4 would be cool. But it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like how he's spinning it. And he knows how he's spinning it. He wants to fight. To his credit, he clearly wants to fight Khabib again.
True. I like that about fighters. It's a thing a lot of fighters will do that. I mean, like you pull them out of the octagon in a stretcher, and they're like, "Get me a rematch." Not smart, but I admire it.
I love Conor. I don't want him to fight Khabib again. Let Khabib go. Let him go. Get him out of here. Let's fight some people that don't want to wrestle fuck you for 3 fucking rounds and just hold on to you and like smash.
It's a bad matchup.
Let's get some people that want to throw some jabs in there against somebody like you who's incredible at boxing. Like that's your matchup. Like this Poirier is not a good match for Conor. I think Conor's got him again. I think his boxing's going to be way better. It's going to be faster.
You're making me think that too. But
I don't know. We'll see. We're all gonna know for sure in a couple of days. That's the beauty of the sport. It happens every week, and one way or another, we know who's better. And if we're not quite sure after one fight, Dana White will just schedule another one 6 months from now, and they'll do it again. That's what's happening right now with Max Holloway. You know, he won this last fight convincingly, and Dana's like, well, I guess he fights Volkanovski again, huh? Yeah, let's the third time's a charm.
I love that, and I like that you can lose fights in the UFC. In boxing, if you're not like 33-0, then no one cares about you. In MMA, you can lose one. Yeah. Hockey teams lose all the time. Why can't MMA fighters? You can still be the best, even though you weren't the best one night.
You been following the NFL at all?
A little bit.
NFL?
NFL, the National Football League. Familiar?
Yeah.
I was thinking it's
I think I can name the 4 teams. The Bills are about to face Kansas City, and Tampa Bay is about to face Green Bay, I think. How's that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know why everybody's always hated Tom Brady so much. Look, I hated it when he was I was a Colts fan for a long time because the Falcons sucked after Vic, and I really like Peyton Manning. He beat us every year. It seemed like every year Peyton Manning would be right there, one win away from the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady would be there to fucking put his foot down, and it just happened over and over and over. I don't know how many times it happened. It felt like it happened every year. But but I like Tom Brady. I like the story of Tom Brady. It's cool. I like that he smooches his son right on the mouth. That's cool as shit. That's some gangster stuff. He does it on camera.
He doesn't care. And jobs incoming.
It's a generational thing, His dad does it to him. He does it to his son.
Is that true? You're making that up?
I want to see him do one of those 3-way kisses you only see in porn.
His dad kisses him on the lips, and then he kisses his son on the lips. And I don't care for it.
I don't care for it.
Especially it's like you're gonna open mouth kiss your dad. You just won the Super Bowl. For
open mouth, you added that.
Time. Yeah. With tongue, Tom? What deal with the devil have you made here?
It's a Super Bowl win, Dad. Of course with tongue. This is one of the special moments.
Have you ever seen that clip of that guy? And he's like, I got a message for all them liberals out there, all them gun-grabbing pussy liberals. You want my gun? You come take it. You come put your hands on me. You run your hands all over my arms and give me goosebumps. And then you give me a little spank, not too hard, but kind of hard, so I know you're there. And then you just look into my eyes real close. You come and you look into my eyes. You kiss me. You kiss me if you want my guns.
He does a good job with it.
Slowly,
you do a pretty good job with it too.
And it just gayer and gayer and gayer,
gayer and gayer.
Yeah.
Lynn, it's great.
Speaking of bets, tomorrow, assuming Biden takes power, I win $300. I'll let you know how it goes. The guy kept...
who did you bet with? I was like, did I make a $300 bet on this?
Somebody from my Facebook feed. Yeah.
Wait, didn't this guy do it after the election?
Dude, we bet $100 like a week after the election.
Holy shit.
But wait, like 3 weeks after the election, we tripled it. I was like, why do you still think? But no, and even now, I feel like he wishes he didn't make the bet.
Dude,
but...
No shit.
This could have been
you
your
feel like he wishes he hadn't made the bet? It's Inauguration Day.
Hey, let's make it 30,000. Like you should have just held him to the.
I have a link. So 4 weeks ago, it's just as 4 weeks. I don't know the date. December 22nd. On December 22nd, we tripled it.
I do love that confidence. That not only is the first bet you make after the election, the second one is you said a month after.
More, December 22nd. That's almost 2 months later.
People are in Christmas mode. This has been over for a while now. And he's triple down.
If I had someone willing to do something like that, I feel like I would have had to get a lawyer involved to make it some sort of binding agreement.
$100 that the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup last year.
I tried to make that bet.
I'll take it.
Ooh, let's triple down. I think you might win. Don't Google it.
We were arguing on Facebook, and they're like, the fact that you're still taking bets about this means that it's not concluded. It's not over. And I was like, no, I just like separating fools from their money. And I started listing other bets. Like, I'll bet Green Bay Packers win the previous weekend. And they didn't take that one. But yeah, $300. I should get it tomorrow. It's nice.
You're not getting that money.
We'll see. So far, they've all paid. I'll let you know.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, at least honorable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's absurd. It's absurd.
That's great for you.
I started posting on Facebook kind of with almost good intent. Like, I kept seeing misinformation and bad facts, not like debatable facts or difference of opinions, but straight up like weird photoshops and, you know, just people who are making things up about the liberal side. So I would post kind of like counter posts, but everything had to pass a fact check. But I think I've devolved over time, and now I kind of troll them because it's hard to be like name called and just abused, kind of. I feel like getting piled up on for months and not do a fucking victory lap when you win.
So how much was it before the 300 that you won from people?
It's you're talking about how much have I won?
Yeah, you said other people
not
paid
a
out.
lot. Yeah. So I won $100 bet and then like a couple of fives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
man, nice little season for you there,
right?
I think your net betting winnings have probably septupled.
I did lose 100 to Kyle one time. That was a pretty big loss.
That's a huge loss.
That paid for OnlyFans for quite some time. Turned out that one person was a man, but hey, you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You can't win if you don't take risks.
I hope the Blues turn around this 8-game season series against Colorado. I'm just going to be we're going to be buying each other Zevias all season with these $5 payouts.
Ah, yeah.
Unless one of us really runs the table. There's $30 available. 25 for me because I'm out 5 on this. That was foolish of me to be like, yeah, let's start it right after Colorado's really amped up to show what they can do after they got, beat pretty bad in their season opener. Oh, Philly looking good.
Yes.
Philly's looking good. I'm excited for them. I think they've overtaken Pittsburgh, for real this time.
Okay. All right. I'm a little insulted that you suggested Pittsburgh was ever better than Philly.
That's true. Pittsburgh, they're not even the one team in the modern era to win the cup twice in a row. They didn't win 3 times in 9 years. Fucking losers. No, 3 times in 8
All
years.
Right. At least you're getting it now.
16 and 17. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like the game either just started or the first period just ended.
Oh, are they playing tonight? They played.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Last night. Yeah, they had a bad loss against Buffalo, but that'll be the kind of loss that motivates them. Like, that's not reminiscent of their team. It's still too early to matter for the most part. But it's good how they're looking. Their goalie's good. They've always needed a goalie. Our goalie is looking fucking awful.
Really?
Just terrible.
How long has he been your goalie? Did he win the cup 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's that same guy. Yeah, and he can frankly suck ass for the rest of his career after stealing us that Game 7 and winning the cup. It's fine. I'm fine. It's funny now that we don't have the really awesome stellar defense in front of him. It's like, oh, this guy's getting exposed a lot. But at the same time, now that we have offensive defensemen, finally, we're scoring more goals. So we're putting up 4 or 5 a game now. And that's never been the way the Blues played. They would put up 3 and then be like, all right, shut it down. Just hit people until the game's over.
Are the Blues still tough?
Yeah, they are. I think they're the biggest team in the NHL as far as average weight and height. I think that's right. Pareko's 6'6", 6'7", and that's pretty big for the NHL. We have a bunch of forwards that are 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, I'm trying to think of bigger teams. Maybe not even the Washington Capitals because they have Zdeno Chara who's 6'10". And Ovi, who's 6'4". But other than that, they have a bunch of, I think, smaller, faster skill guys at 5'10", maybe 6 foot, 6'1". I don't know. They probably haven't even updated it this year. This is one of those stats you tend to see postseason. Because
I could only find it for 1920, which is last year, and you guys are 5th. And in height, you're further down, maybe 10th-ish. I'm estimating.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that has changed. We lost our 6'4" defenseman, and we gained a 5'9" one.
That's gonna hurt your averages there.
That's a little different, but also it was about time that the Blues got a little bit faster because it served us well against Boston to be really rough and tumble. But I don't know. It seems like other teams are trying to emulate that strategy of like, because the Blues just got to the Stanley Cup Finals and they just basically started playing 90s hockey again. Because like it was illegal to play the way the Blues did all the way up until the playoffs because they'll call that. And then the postseason starts and the Blues are just like, hey, let's play it like the 90s and just like run people and hit people hard. And it's like
they swallow the whistle, right?
It's
they don't.
Well known. It's well like in the like game 7 or like the series against the Bruins and the Sharks. Well, the Sharks were the second to last one. It was just a madhouse. Like it's just full on punching. And the refs were like, just keep it kind of clean, guys. Because like, refs, it's like a thing. Like refs do not want to call penalties. Like in the game 7, there were no penalties called. There were a ton that could have been called, like roughing. Usually roughing is like, Kyle, you get a shot on goal and you kind of like get up in my goalie's face a little bit. And I get too close to you and I throw my arm around you and I kind of throw you to the ground and kick you a little bit, shove you around. Usually they'd be like, that was entirely unnecessary. We'll give you 2 minutes for roughing because you got him away from your goalie. We understood the throw. It was the poking and the kicking. We didn't mind. Give you 2 minutes for that. Like that happens constantly in game 7. And there was only one penalty called in that entire game 7. And it was the only one that like refs can't ignore, which is if a defenseman in their own zone accidentally shoots the puck out of their end into the stands. That's delay of game for 2 minutes. And
also the stabbing.
Yeah, the stabbing. And that happened to us. That was nervous. That was so much fun.
I was watching playoff hockey, and I forget the guy. It was a while ago, but he was skating, and he goes from center ice to the goal. And it's the playoffs. The defenseman catches him from behind and kind of like cross-checks him on the back of the neck. So now he's still skating, but he's bent over. And he just keeps hitting him on the back of the neck repeatedly with his stick. Just hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. And they show this is like a highlight I was watching. And they're like, welcome to the playoffs. And it just, yeah.
It is. I know the exact clip you're talking about because like the smaller guy is like, he has the speed and he gets hit once and he kind of slows down. Hit again. And he's just pummeled into the ground. And it's honest. It's like when Tom is trying to escape from Jerry and he gets a baseball bat and Tom gets stunned, but he's still running. But by the end, it's just bang, 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 right on top of his
head.
There's
like Jerry indentations in the golf club, like a cookie cutter.
Would you prefer the sport if it were cleaner?
No, definitely not.
No. Well, maybe to play it, but I'm talking about watching it.
Yeah. Watching, I want it even filthier than it is now.
Yes.
Aren't you ever worried that like some of your like speedier, more skillful players that you're fans of are going to get destroyed?
The Blues have a good way of handling that because we have enough big guys. So like if anybody went after like 2 years ago when we won the cup, like if they went after Tarasenko or Schwartz, who's a skill guy who's smaller, like big rig Pat Maroon would go out there and fight someone.
That's it.
Well, it's not just about retribution, right? Like, what if they tear out Sweet T's knee? Like all the retribution in the world isn't going to make that right.
That threat of retribution was the fix for it. It's like, Kyle, you speedy, highly skilled player, your line mate is Evander Holyfield. Now everybody knows, don't touch Kyle because Evander is over here looking to solve problems.
I'd love to see Evander Holyfield ice skate.
He's probably not good at it.
I would imagine he's never done it.
Yeah, well, if you scroll down a little bit here, we lucked out. The Blues did because most like really big star players are. You have to click the link to scroll down and see them. They're smaller guys, the all stars. Tarasenko is like 6 feet tall. I think he's 220, and you can see a photo of him there. The only time he gets injured is when he hurts himself by trying to shoot too hard or like fucks up his like damaged shoulder. He never gets hurt anywhere else.
He's a solid guy.
Yeah,
I wonder how big the guy on the right is.
I don't
know. That guy's probably 5'10".
He looks small. Is he an athlete or is he just a fan?
That's probably someone that's like at a gym that Tarasenko's training.
Okay, just
or a
checking,
trainer or something. He might be the guy that stretches Tarasenko.
Maybe that's definitely not one of his teammates. I'll tell you.
Okay, because he looks like the guy that sells hot dogs.
Taylor, what does his shirt say? Is that a minor league team that you recognize? Maybe
something Rocket.
It's not the Phantoms, is it?
Phantom Rocket. Yeah,
Phantoms, Rockets.
The Phantoms. What is Phillies? What is Phillies minor league team called? Are they the Phantoms?
I have no idea. I don't know who Phantoms hockey is. Oh, they might be. Yeah, they're the AHL team in Pennsylvania. So they're either Yeah, they're with Philly because it's the Hershey Bears who are with Pittsburgh.
God, he's enormous. I'm seeing him like standing amongst his team here with skates on. He's so much taller. Like that one guy barely comes up to his collarbone, including his helmet.
Is he number 55?
No, 55 is Pareko, who's 6'7". He's
okay. Well, never mind. I was looking at that guy.
I think that guy we're looking at is on the far left in that picture, Kyle.
Jesus Christ!
He's kind of
55 is an enormous person. Why are we even talking about Tarasenko when 55 exists?
And the way the Blues got that guy, his name's Colton Pareko. He's one of the best defensemen in the league now. He was playing hockey in Alaska in college, like studying to be an engineer, I think.
It's like from the movie.
Yeah, in his first throughout his rookie year with playing with the Blues, like he was great. And so they had him playing like 65, 70 games, which is a lot. And they're like, so how'd you like your first year? And he's like, it was great. It was tough. I'm just happy I managed to, have a good rookie season and finish my engineering degree in the same year. it was like you don't need it. You don't need it. But basically, like he was playing up in Alaska and the Blues knew about him and like took like care to not let any notes about this guy escape because no one was tracking him and no one picked him in the draft up until like the second round late. And, we jumped up and took him because we wanted him way before that. And he's been tremendous. Great. Love this guy. And we need him after Petrangelo's gone. But anyway, that's enough hockey. In gaming news, I streamed Age of Mythology on Friday, played some of that. Kyle, I know you're deep into Rust, but if you ever have an itch to play some Age of Mythology with me, let me know. I'm always down.
That is a lot of practicing that I would have to do.
I'm having to
relearn it down at this point. Kyle's carried his weight in Rust, right? Am I on target with that?
Working on it, yeah.
He's trying.
We're 2 days into the fresh wipe, Sunday wipe server. So tonight should be the night when we go and blow shit up. Having a good time.
Is it still you, Mitty, and two just beasts?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
There was a little bit of drama in the other group. There's a couple groups of us that are playing on that server, and we're in different voice chats most of the time because it gets chaotic with two different teams in one chat. And Dirty's team had a little kerfuffle the other day. So Dirty has gotten very good at Rust. He's put in like 300 hours in 3 weeks or something. Like something absurd like that. And he spends hours practicing on the recoil training servers. He's gotten quite good, I'm told. And in any case, he has surpassed, I think, his teammates in not only skill, but also in like game sense. And so every time he steps away, something bad happens. I think that's why he's got so many hours. Like the other day, he went to like Outback Steakhouse and like everything melted down. Like they like lost the base. And but like yesterday or the day before, it's like the first day of wipe, and they've been grinding all day. Like everybody's been working hard for like 8 hours solid. And Dirty's girlfriend is like, "Hey, we take the dog out?" And he's like, all right, boys, I'm going to take the dog outside to piss. I'll be right back. He steps away for literally 6 minutes. And in that time, someone who will not be named, Ari,
leaves the door open.
He left the door open. He left the door in. And somebody goes deep on them and takes their whole base from them.
Oh, no.
Like going deep is when you you manage to get one door in, and then either through a series of accidents and encounters, you're able to go one door further. Like they'll open a door to try to kill you, but you'll kill them and you'll get a door deeper. That wasn't even required apparently because all the doors were open.
He just went deep, straight to the back walls.
Straight to the back walls, and once he's there, like he's able to pick up guns and break the TC and break bags, and like he just took their base from them. And so Dirty comes back and they're like, "It's gone. It's all gone." He's like, "What do you mean it's all gone? I've been gone for minutes. I just stepped outside and the dog, and it's gone.
It's all gone.
It's all gone." So yeah, they had a little bit of a meltdown over there. There were a lot of harsh words spoken.
Where were you? Sleeping on your posts, no doubt?
I'm not on their fucking team.
He's on a different team. Yeah.
Our accidents involve like helicopter crashes and who's driving the boat, right or wrong. Like you know, we haven't lost the base or anything. We haven't been raided yet, so it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, like when you send clips into the chat of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm piecing this together. All right, he hit him with a rocket. That was pretty easy, ham-handed. I get it. Good rocket shots. Must be hard to shoot because based on that video, it looked like he was going to miss. But then I realized I was seeing somebody else's third-person perspective, not his like ADS.
You have to hit the right pixel almost to like damage 3 panels oftentimes.
Yeah. Well, no, there's a lot of splash damage
near the boat.
Taylor was talking about like when they were flying in the helicopter shooting rockets at the guys in the boat. Yeah, rockets are really powerful in the game. But yeah, when you're like raiding, you try to hit like in a seam so that you're splashing multiple surfaces. So you're getting 4 times the pop for your one rocket. But yeah, it's been fun. I saw that like they had that big. It's actually kind of huge. The Twitch streamer Rust server, that they had, and they had all sorts of controversy over there because what they did is they invited like lots of Twitch streamers from other games, like GTA streamers and stuff like that, to play Rust. And they made 2 servers. One was a role play server, which is where you can go in and just be silly and nobody's fighting. And then they made a PvP server. And so all the Rust guys jump in the PvP server, like especially the ones who like want to play Rust. Mm-hmm. And like that's when Pastilli and all those guys got kicked out of the server for PvPing.
On the PvP server?
Yeah. If you care enough about the drama, Sir Winter, who's one of my favorite Rust YouTubers, he has been for a long time. It's SER then space Winter. He's an Aussie. He has like a 2-hour video explaining the whole drama because he has to present evidence for himself because all of these big Twitch streamers are like sending their hordes over to like hate on him and stuff. And he's like, look, they're just lying. Here's all the video proof. Every single incident that they're like having an issue with, here's how it actually went. And he's got like 2 hours of evidence in this YouTube video where it's pretty good. Like the other people in that.
I found the video. It's 1 hour and 56 minutes. I mean, Jesus, what really happened on the OTV PvP server? PvP
I'll take your word for it, dude.
Right?
I'm not watching that.
Like I watched about 35 minutes of it, and I was like, yeah, you're right, because I'd seen enough. But like one of those Twitch streamers they were being so toxic and shitty to him. Like, and it's definitely because he was like a smaller Twitch streamer, or like he's a YouTube streamer.
That's not nice.
Oh no, he does stream on Twitch. In any case, like the one guy is just like, enjoy those bullshit crumbs you're getting on YouTube donations. They're calling him a papega. Yeah, they're like they're literally like making fun of the amount of money he makes because they're bigger streamers. And
what's this guy's name?
The guy I'm talking about is Sir Winter.
Sir Winter.
What's a papega? I see that all the time. I'm just not.
It's a retard.
Oh. All right. Apparently Anton's a papega.
Well,
one of my favorite streamers is a papega. Okay.
In any case,
really happened on the OTV PvP server. 275,000 views.
Good. I'm glad for that then. But yeah, the whole thing is nonsense. It's really good for the game. That's all I care about, is that they're bringing so much attention to the game and bringing new players to the game. But it's at the same time, it is a little frustrating, the way they're playing the game, I guess. It's not the way they're playing the game, because if they're in a role-playing server, that makes a lot of sense. And look, I kind of like the role-playing stuff too, to some extent. Like one of the guys, like we've made bases where we just grew a lot of hemp before, use hemp to make cloth in the game. And like, we've done silly stuff. Like we'll take a break from being super hardcore about the game and just be silly for sometimes. I get that. But like, I would never play in a server that was nothing but role play, but to each their own. The real issue is that they had like a PvP server that they didn't want PvP in. And they keep like interjecting with all these rules. And they're like, oh, well, PvP is okay, but try to keep it in the north side of the map. And it's like, well, all right. So he like draws a line across the map and he stays above the line. And well, yeah, but maybe you could say something before you just attack someone. And he's like, what am I supposed to say? Prepare to die?
PvP is okay, but you can only win if you have more concurrent viewers.
That's what it came down to. That's what it came down to. And because he's so good at the game, like, it's not that he's like amazing on the keyboard and mouse necessarily. It's just because he's got thousands of hours in the game and he knows how the game works. He knows little mind tricks you can play and like how to play the game. Like there's this one funny clip where the guy's riding along on a horse and he's like, hey, would you like some things? And like throws some trash on the ground. And the guy hops off his horse to like pick up the trash. Well, he just hops right on the guy's horse and like rides it away. And it shows it from that guy's point of view. And he's like, wait, what the fuck? You just stole my horse.
That's hilarious.
Like he's just doing that constantly. Like
that's funny.
One of the girl streamers, she's just like trying to walk in complete pitch black darkness, and you just hear like boom, and he goes, "You were killed by Sir Winter," and she's like, "What the fuck? What happened? I couldn't see anything." like all of them kind of had the same experience. Where like, you know, he knows how to play the game that you have elected to play on a PvP server, and you're mad because he's PvP. And he wasn't even being like, you can be super shitty in this game. Like you can ruin people's fun if you want to. We do it sometimes. Like if we decide we don't like someone, you can really ruin somebody's fun. I could build a base outside your base that means nothing to me and just sit in it all day and just snipe at you every time you come out of your door. It wouldn't cost me anything like to do that and literally ruin your fun. Make you have to come blow my base up with a lot of your explosives. He wasn't doing anything like that. He wasn't door camping them. He wasn't like targeting anyone. He was just playing the game. But yeah, I am glad that it's pretty interesting. Like I didn't need to see it all to get the gist of what was going on. Like the first 30 minutes kind of clued me in and showed me how like toxic and shitty those people were, and like and also that like, I don't know, because he was he's like an OG Rust guy, but he was kind of being treated like a second-class citizen, which is a shame to see.
I really don't like that, right? Like, I don't know. You shouldn't flex your sub count as a way to get special treatment. I like it when people decline that kind of special treatment.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some shitty people on there. In any case, and the game's definitely growing. I saw the devs made a couple $1 million that first week of all that, and I'm sure some of that's getting funneled back into development. So, you know, game gets better every week. That's one of the cool things about the game is like every month there's a big every week there's an update, but every month there's a big update with new content.
Rust has had a long life cycle for a game. You know, like I want to say Rust. I first heard about Rust when I first owned a Minecraft server, and that's a long time. Was that 6 years ago, 7 years ago? Most games don't have a life that long.
Yeah, I first learned about it maybe 5 years ago, like 2016, I guess. And it's one of those games that sort of came out and like while still in development, and they promised that they're gonna like every week we're gonna get better, but they did it. You know, they didn't pull like I've been told DayZ is good now, but they ran out of time for me.
Still the classic example of that.
Yeah, they ran out of time for me. It's still. And what's that game where you're like exploring the stars or whatever, and there's supposed to be like a million worlds, and they're all different. No Man's Sky, same thing. Like you lost me. It took you too long. But with Rust, every week, you know, something new. Like it seems like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, they came up with the helicopters. That was game changing. They're so fucking cool to be able to like lightning fast fly around the map, and then electricity came in about a year ago. Huge game changer, like having electrical lights and stuff, and all the crazy stuff people can do with that. And then horses came in like maybe 9 months ago or something like that, and seemed like a small thing at first, but it was a big addition.
Tarkov is doing something that's not awesome. So you and I bought the $140 version of the game, and one of the cool parts about that is it should be the last thing you have to buy. If you buy that, everything that comes out, all the DLC in the future, you're entitled to that. Well, there was going to be an arena mode, which I guess will be a little like Call of Duty, but with Tarkov mechanics and such.
Okay.
And that's not going to be included in our copy. And it's like, well, no, you said we get all the future stuff. That it was like part of the deal. And they're like, well, yeah, but this is a different game. On the same engine with the same thing. And I think if you do well in arena mode, your other character like gets XP and it kind of crosses over.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They're adding zombies mode to their Call of Duty game, and they're claiming it's a whole new game and it costs extra. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so this is all rumored, but that based on the rumors, I agree with you.
And for anyone who's too stupid to follow what I just said, both of you, I realized that they're not adding zombies. I'm comparing it to zombies.
Yeah, they're adding another game mode to the game and acting like it's a standalone. And so yeah, Taylor, you want to talk about fitness talk? How have you been?
I've been good. I'm always way better on fitness than I am on diet. But I've been good on diet recently. It was a buddy of mine's 30th on Saturday, and so I definitely went over my calories there. Other than that, I've been pretty good. It's another friend of mine's 30th birthday party this Saturday because, I'm at the age where everybody's turning 30. And so I'll have to...
Roughly 30?
Roughly 30. Yeah, I gotta try and resist the burger and brat and hot dog and beer temptation.
You just won't have a good birthday party if you don't have a couple cheese dogs.
Yeah, I know. I'm selfish. I'm eating magnanimously.
Yeah.
Look at how much fun he's having. He's double fisted.
Oh, you like this, you asshole. This is for you.
Yeah. He's holding 2 beers and 2 brats.
I'm down 14 pounds. Now, here's the deal. I weigh in every day, and usually I just leave on my t-shirt and underwear and my watch, which seems like nothing, but it must be 1 pound or something like that. And it's like a thick thing. Anyway, so I weigh in this morning, and I'm 208 now. 208.0.
Nice.
And I'm like, I could be down 15 pounds. I could take off this t-shirt, underwear, and watch, and I will definitely go down from 0.0 to something else, and I ignore the decimals. I ignore the decimals on the starting weight, so I ignore the decimals on current weight, but I didn't want the pressure. I didn't want to go up tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll get it more secured in the 207s.
Good for you.
But I'm roughly down 15 pounds so far. I'm never missing any workouts. All I do is work out and think about working out. That's been my life lately. I'm just working out, watching YouTube videos about working out. On my off days, I go into the gym and this place needs better lighting. I bought this new ceiling fan for it a while ago, got that installed, new flooring.
I like your new flooring. Looks good.
Yeah, that looks really good. I'm the same way. I'm pretty much all the entertainment content I'm consuming. Usually I'll have old TV shows playing while I'm working out. I'm finding fitness or nutrition people on Joe Rogan or something, or listening some guy named Pavel Satsulin or something who's
is he the kettlebell guy?
He's the kettlebell guy, but more just general fitness and health, wellness guy, not diet guy at all. But he had some really interesting stuff. I listened to him. Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's not fitness. She's what you should be eating and the nutrition macros and micros and butter or not butter.
Nutrition's rough because you can just keep shopping for experts until you find what you want to hear. I guess I'll talk about another time. I was talking about Dan Loomis. I went to lunch with him today. He was PKA Dan. You guys might remember him. And he went through this stage where he's like, I was making butter coffee. It was coffee with butter in it and something else. And there are people who think that this is a good idea. He's thin now, but he had man tits at one point. And
that butter coffee is so goddamn gross. I remember a friend of mine, this was when did that get huge? 5 years ago. It was right when this MCT oil, remember that, where it's you want to put the MCT. I think Rogan was a big proponent of this because he was a Rogan listener, and he was you put the MCT oil in your coffee and you stir it up, and then you get your ghee butter, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a 300 calorie cup of coffee to start
your day.
Yeah, probably even 350 calories, and you stir it in. I had 1 cup ever. We were trying it, and he was and first of all, you have to stir it nonstop because it will just become an oil slick, and it was always somewhat of an oil slick because you're trying to mix oil into your coffee. It's you stir it really fast, and it looks like a really shiny, luminescent oil slick, and then you take a sip, immediately feels like you're half a tube of chapstick in on your lips. Like your lips are shiny, full, looks like lip gloss.
It tasted
I liked that part of it. It tasted weird. None of that stuff should be in a coffee. I would a million times prefer just a normal tasting black coffee. And I didn't feel more energized. I didn't feel that it was beneficial for me. It was like, dude, like a half cup of brown rice in a regular coffee would have given me more fuel. And it wouldn't have been, it would have been, a third.
Well, isn't that part of the whole keto diet though? Don't you need to like, I don't think that your first cup is supposed to do anything. You've got to get your body trained to like be burning fats for energy, right?
Oh, yeah. I just mean like it didn't feel any different that first time to just a normal level of energy from a cup of coffee. If anything, I felt sluggish because it was like drinking a big, thick, fatty drink.
I've basically just been eating healthy. I eat chicken. I eat a baked potato. I've removed all butter from my diet. I would have my normal like chicken or pork, baked potato, and mixed vegetables. That's like what I eat all the time. And then I put a pat of butter on the veggies and then on each side of the baked potato. And I start counting my calories and I'm like, whoa. Like this meal is 650, 700 calories. And then the butter is 300 more. And I'm like, you're not cutting it on the cost benefit. If I'm trying to lose weight, I can cut the butter off the veggies and the potato and suddenly it's like a much lower caloric meal. So I've been doing that kind of thing. I try to find satiating foods. That's what the potato is really mostly about, and it's been working. So
I've been eating a bunch of sweet potatoes. Like,
oh yeah, people. I eat the.
What do you
dices them up and roast them?
Potato with skin is my thing. I was up late last night, addicted to Zwift videos. Have you heard of this?
Zwift? No.
Okay, so it's spelled like Swift with a Z, and these guys. It's basically a indoor bicycle. But it's connected over the internet and they race each other. And like I'm watching, you have to see how exhausted it is. These people give their all. And I feel like it's
what a great idea.
To give your all in a cycling race is so much all. They're exhausted. They can't breathe anymore. They can't talk. They're like,
yeah,
like that, just like breathe, coughing, and there are like experts in it who are coaching the players on how to do their best, and they don't win all the time. By the way, these guys are great, but they still lose. But they'll finish like top 10 out of 120, or maybe top 5, or sometimes they win. And just the amount of effort they put in, it makes me want one. It makes me want. Now it's pretty expensive. It's like $3,000 to buy this bike and $15 a month. But I'm like, I can have that. I could. They're in stock in 2 weeks. Let's see if you still want it in 2 weeks.
Lock and change.
Actually, they're in stock right now over here. So I'm trying to cool my jets a little bit. But
you gotta hook like a half horsepower electric motor to yours and just like you're on the show wearing 8 gold medals. You're just like, yeah, big deal on Zwift.
I saw
world champion.
I saw a guy lose to a cheater. So this guy,
he doesn't sweat.
The guy we're watching, the guy that I'm watching is the British champion. He turned out to be the British champion that year. He wasn't at the time. And he's very good, and you should see him. He's built like a Tour de France winner. That you enter your height and your weight and everything, and the game uses that to impact your guy's performance. And this champion put out like 350 watts a minute or a second, whatever it was, average over the course of the race. And that's a very impressive number. Regular people are doing 200. He's did 350, and he lost to a guy who put out 570. And he's like, what? Yeah, that's no. That guy either cheated or had an electronic bike or something where he was able to act.
Tomfoolery, yeah.
But it's pretty neat, and the level of cardio these guys get, they call it the Zwift effect. There are group rides where you just sort of go and hang out and enjoy the scenery. There's like underwater aquariums you ride your bike through and shit like that. And they always turn into a race. It's called the Zwift effect. So
I bet Zwift calls it the Zwift effect.
We're calling it the Zwift effect.
It's this YouTuber who's been...
Who are we? We are the owners of Zwift.
Just two riders go next to each other. Like,
I'm Alan Richardson, creator of Zwift, and people across the country are calling it the Zwift effect.
The Zwift effect
in our marketing and PR room.
The Zwift effect is anytime two riders see each other, it becomes a race. That's what happens. And it's pretty funny. The videos are so compelling. I was watching Twitch streams of it last night, like regular people, and I was like, I should stream this on Twitch. It'll be the next big thing. It won't be. It's the opposite of what I'm good at. People don't watch me for the gameplay, and that becomes triple true when I'm riding a bicycle.
You're like huffing and puffing.
Yes.
Thanks to Big Al for...
Right? And then
You charge back, Al? Come on, I'm killing myself here.
Imagine how great Taylor's streams would be if he couldn't talk. And now you have my vision.
Yeah. I mean, I did a bike riding stream once.
Did you?
For 2 hours, I rode a bike and
how did it go?
Just watched the Wings of Redemption documentary for 2 hours, and all I did was unmute to be like, "Oh, thanks for the sub," and I just got sweaty, and people just like called me fat and were encouraging a nice mix of insults and encouragement. And honestly, there's no way if I would have been watching The Simpsons in my basement that I would have kept going on that bike for 2 hours. But there was like part of it that I was like, I have to make it through this 2 hour documentary and not stop biking or I'll get made fun of. But like, and I got off and it's probably the most calories I've burned in one sitting in the last year, including workouts. Because I lifted earlier that day too. And then did that. It was insane how exhausted I was. Slept like a rock that night. I should do that more. Not on stream necessarily, because that would get stale quickly, I would imagine.
Okay, we're gonna watch the very end of this woman's race. So it's an hour-long video, but we'll watch like the last minute of it. This works. I think she's cooling off. I think I've gone. I hope you guys find this as compelling as I do. I really want to watch this. You're going to get an idea for how hard people work in this game.
Okay.
You see, it's timestamp.
Yep, I'm watching.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Ready, set, play.
Thanks, Gus. Okay, sit on a wheel.
Oh, I hope this
Downhill
lands.
sprint on so we can get in a big gear, okay?
So she has a coach telling her, like, all right, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. She has already like missed her goal a handful of times. She fell off the front group. They're like, you got to keep up with this person. If you ride your bike behind someone, you draft off them, and the effort is much lower to stay behind them. Once you fall off, then they make you pedal much harder.
What if she hits him?
Is she steering?
There's no hitting. No, I don't think there's hitting or
Go on,
steering.
Sonia! Not that you can hear me in Sweden.
Get it back.
Sit back.
Pedal harder. I'd be a great biking coach. Faster.
Pussy's really taking the brunt of this scene.
Oh, I'm like,
she's pooped.
Big gear. Just end it, Mon, okay?
I want to see her. I hope she hammers down like I expect her to.
She's gonna vomit.
I wish this guy would get his moose knuckle out of the fucking camera.
Go on, Mon! Go on!
That guy loves wearing that singlet.
200, Mon! Come on!
200 what? Oh, meters left.
Go on, Mon! Come on!
The other guy just blow past her.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. If he even gives me the bird as he goes past.
So normally the finish is in a group, and there's a sprint, and there's like 12 people, and it really matters.
Oh, that is sick and
Damn.
juicing.
I will not be purchasing.
She is dying, and they try to like get her opinion, and she can't talk, can't breathe, can't do anything. This is her first race.
205 watts. She tied with.
Yeah, it's weird that she tied.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There's a three-way tie for 11th, 12th, and 13th.
So, but she's second from the bottom, right? Am I right about that?
No, she's Sonia. He was saying Sonia, so I'm just picking Sonia out of the list.
I picked the one because it's orange. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that. So it's confusing to me. Her heart rate, the heart rate is 190, far higher than anyone else's. So that also
27 seconds on that girl.
She still can't breathe.
Well, her heart rate was
Look, her
190.
coughing.
90, yeah.
She's like,
Cheers everyone that watched and had to listen to me.
Yeah, thanks to everyone tuning
Fuck
in.
that, man. That's not healthy.
dude, she's
1,000 people on this.
look at her.
All the people watching you.
Bye.
Bye. See you later, guys.
Why are they all wearing their bicycle pants and singlets and bullshit?
I don't know.
They take this
for
game
sure.
serious.
Yeah.
They're all cosplay. The guy on the left was actually the British champ I mentioned. I didn't recognize him, but I did.
Okay.
Know. Yeah, they you have to just watch how these people kill themselves. Greg Doucette does it. You know Greg Doucette, right? We talk about his parrot
Very
voice.
well. Yeah. He's got the. Does he
has
use the
it.
Zwift thing?
He uses the Zwift, and his brother does. His brother's very good at cycling. He was on the Canadian national team back in the day. And the way Greg tells it, if it's an hour-long race, his brother wins every time. If it's a 10-second race, Greg wins every time. He's a bodybuilder. He's very strong. But when they do like a 5-minute race, anything could happen. And you have to see how hard people try at this game. And I used to be in cycling when I was younger, and we did these centuries, and had a 140-mile bicycle day, and so we did Bragg. Have you ever heard of Bragg? Maybe bike ride across Georgia. I've done that a couple of times.
No, I don't swim in those circles.
Yeah, you go from the top left corner to the bottom right one.
Do they smoke a lot of dope and watch
probably
Rick
some
and Morty?
of them do.
Oh,
but
I can get into anything where like marijuana is a key component of it.
Anyway, yes, I used to be into this, and I'm watching Zwift, and it's bringing back all this interest in me, and I'm just trying to cool my jets a little bit, see if I'm into it for more than one night. It's expensive, but
Yeah, it is. You have that bike riding background though. My
Right?
question would be if you have the room for it.
You can put that anywhere.
It would be behind me probably because it's part of your computer. You want a gaming computer to people play it in 4K, and you need a good internet connection. And
Could you play it in VR?
I didn't think of that. I don't know. It'd be sweaty.
Around your actual neighborhood in a headset. Real bike. Yeah. Man, this is even better than 4K. It's like real leaves.
Yeah. No,
You want the best graphics ever? Try a Huffy.
Dan, that looks just like my neighbor's aggressive dog.
But yeah. Anyway, so this has caught my. I am basically living the lifestyle of a professional athlete without the game's talent or youth. But
Or the pay.
Or pay, yeah, no, but in terms of enthusiasm, I'm right there. I'm right there.
The groupies,
Okay, there's a handful of missing elements.
the fans, we got the
You're just
fans, I
working
guess.
out.
but like all I do is like work out and like listen to trainers who don't know I'm watching, but whatever, like it's and today was push day. I like push day. So
Yep. Tomorrow's got some cardio, so fuck that.
How often are you doing cardio?
I'm starting off just twice a week. I'm adding it to my legs and core day, just like 45 minutes an hour on the elliptical afterward.
Yeah.
Elliptical. So you've got a couple of things, right? You have an elliptical. Do you have an Airdyne? I know you have a bike of some sort.
I have that magnetic bike I got for the fitness contest like a year and a half ago, and then I've got like over 2 years ago now, actually. And then I've got a treadmill and an elliptical. And that's all the cardio stuff I have.
Cool.
And I prefer the elliptical to the treadmill a lot. It's just easier.
Yeah, it's way easier.
My friend who's a
healthier.
runner would tell you you're not built for running. He would tell me I'm not built for running.
That's true. I lumber. When I run, it looks like I'm mad at the ground.
Just stomping holes in the ground. Just
Yeah.
mad at it. Yeah, the elliptical's a lot safer for your knees.
Yeah, it is. You guys want to call it a show?
Yeah.
Go for dinner.
All right.
Yeah.
Me too. PKN 335.